like pieces are starting to come together, so it's getting very exciting. Yeah, I think we're live. Yeah, we're good. So dude, things are starting to come together for Growth Conference. We've got our ticketing system figured out, so people can go in and they can start picking which seats that they want to sit in. So it's very exciting. Today we are talking about how to prospect like a pro. I'm going to break down some simple things that you can do to get started to give you more focus and direction with your prospecting as a salesperson, so that you can go and grow your business. Go grow your business, your pipeline. 305-865-8668. Call in, share the stream. Let's do this.
All right, so we're going to go to the intro so mute him.
All right. Hey, welcome to another episode of Young Hustlers. My name's Jared Glenn. It's Thursday, noon East Coast Standard Time, and we're here in Miami in Grant Cardone Enterprises, Grant Cardone TV Studios, to bring you another edition of the best sales podcast in the world, Young Hustlers. That's right, this show is coming to you every single week for the same reason. We want to help you get your money right. About 4 years ago, I guess, maybe 3 years ago, I told Grant, I said, hey, you know what? All this stuff that they're talking about, millennials, it's all bull. It's BS. There's plenty of young folks out there who want to get their money right, who want to go out and get to their financial goals fast, right? Like not wait till they're 65 to retire, or to have retirement kind of money, but to get it done in a really short period of time. And we need to create a show that helps the folks like me and Robert Sislo and Francisco and Natalie, the people who want to get their money right. We got to give them a place where they can go and they can get tips and strategies that are being employed in the real world, not the internet world, the real world, with real customers, real problems. And so that's what this show's all about. And that's why we come here every week. So today, I want to talk about prospecting, and I want to go over some basics about how to prospect like a pro. Look, I'll tell you that prospecting is the most underrated skill set in sales. People want to beat their chest and say that they're the best closer in the world, but truthfully, if you are a master at prospecting and filling a pipeline, you will be the most valuable salesperson to the organization. So today I want to talk about some things that you can do just to get started. I want to remind you, if you got questions about your pipeline, if you got questions about how to reach out to your prospects, give the show a call, man. Give the show a call. We're live. That's the benefit of the live show. 305-865-8668. Ask your questions. We'll get you answers and help you fill that pipeline up, blow up your pipeline so that you can blow up your paycheck. So, dude, how to prospect like a pro. Number one, dude, you have to know that there are certain categories of prospects, and you got to know who you're selling to, and you got to know who you want to go after and chase, right? And so what's a really helpful exercise, and for the company that you work for, the product that you sell, is to really figure out who is that? Who is my ideal customer? Too often people just, they spray and pray, and I think that that's probably where a lot of the, cold calling is dead, and, the cold aspect of prospecting. I think where a lot of that comes from is people don't take the time to actually understand who a prime prospect is. So I want to go over 4 different types of prospects that you can have. I'll actually write these down on the board over here. Let me see if you can, I got it. Okay, you gonna zoom it out a little bit? Okay, so the first type of prospect that you have is a cold prospect. Cold prospects are stone cold. bare bones, freezing cold. They don't know anything about you. They don't know anything about their company. And there's a good chance you don't know anything about them or really who you're calling until that record pops up in front of you or you pick up your card or however you're making phone calls out. So this is telemarketing, right? This is telemarketing at its finest. It's a massive database of information and data about people, and they're just, phone centers are just making cold calls in obscenely large amounts, going after people who have no idea if it's a match for their product or anything like that. You get these all the time. This is what gives cold prospecting a bad name, and this is why people, they try to come up with catchy things like cold calling is dead, because when people think of cold calling, they think of cold like telemarketing. The second type is going to be targeted cold. Now this is totally different. If this is a 1 on the scale of like hotness, hotness being, all right, how close it is to a deal, all right? Get your head out of the gutter. This is probably a 4. It's like the Richter scale. It's an exponential increase. Because what we've done when we've actually targeted a cold list is we actually know who the prospect is. We've done a little bit of research about them. We've identified who our ideal customer is, the types of problems that they can have, right? And we've gone through and we've identified targets. Now, this is the area where professional salespeople truly shine. Targeted cold prospecting. You've done your research, you know about them, you know about their product. They may or may not know about you or your company, which is fine, but you know something about them. You've taken the time to educate yourself about their business. This targeted cold could also be not so much about a company, it could be about an industry. So for example, we have a big audience in automotive. We've got a big audience in real estate. We've got a big audience in insurance. We've got a big audience in Harley Davidson. We've got a big audience in solar. Like there's certain industries that we know as a whole do really, really well with our training programs. So what we do is we go out and we actually actively search in those industries for people that we want to call. So when we call a solar company, whether they're selling, knocking at a door, whether they have a call center setting appointments and somebody's going out to the house and pitching them in the house, if it's an inbound sale, if it's an outbound sale, we know that in that model, our program can help them. So if we go through and we pull a list, we know that they're in a good industry. We have companies that are currently using our program in that industry that are winning, which will help create your pitch and craft your pitch, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But we also know that, and I posted a question on LinkedIn about this the other day. I know as a salesperson, I know as a sales training company in that industry, in the solar industry, we can increase sales, guaranteed. Like I know that for sure. The owner of the company doesn't need to know that right now because I know that. So this here is where professional salespeople operate, targeted cold. They create a hit list, they identify a target, and then they go after that target with everything they got, every piece of artillery. So those are 2 of the 4 types of prospects that you have right now. When we come back from the break, I'm going to get into the other 2 and teach you how to make the call.
Make 6 to 7 figures overnight as an expert in your industry. Monetize your knowledge, monetize everything you work for, and make it work for you. Russell Whitney, expert in knowledge monetization, has worked with some of the largest brands, Robert Kiyosaki, Tony Robbins, Kevin Harrington, and George Foreman, in building out content that made them kings of their space. Scale your business to a 9-figure brand, sell from stage, create events, build a sales team, and get moving right now on your greatest expansion in business yet. Visit RussellWhitney.com. That's RussellWhitney.com to get started. There's only one company to work for in the smart home industry, Skyline Security. Right now is looking for the best of the Grant Cardone following to join their team and expand financially and professionally. Go to joinskyline.com to register. Labeled by Inc. 5000 as the fastest growing company for the last 2 years in a row, you get to protect families, grow your wealth, and join a team of top producers. Skyline is looking for great people. Go to joinskyline.com. That's joinskyline.com to get started on a brand new 10x career path. Go to joinskyline.com to register. There's only one company you need to know in telecommunications. and that's Bullfrog. Bullfrog is so advanced and so in the future, you don't even need a desk phone anymore to run a business. Integrate right now with what you and your employees already pay for, their cell phone. Run an entire business from there, from group chat to monitoring to call forwarding, and we will guarantee that you never experience a drop call again. You can save an extra $60,000 a year with Bullfrog and the plans that they have for your company. And for your free trial, go to bullfrog.net. That's bullfrog.net for your free trial of this outstanding service. Go to bullfrog.net for your free trial right now.
Hey, we're back, Young Hustlers. The place for you to come every Thursday at noon East Coast Standard Time to get your freaking game on, Jack. Dude, look, if you want to blow up and you want to make big money, you got to have strategies, you got to have techniques, you got to have a plan, right? Dude, look, this is life. You get one shot. I don't want to be stale and old and crusty when I get money, right? I want to have money now. And the sooner you can get your money right, the sooner your life is going to start getting easier. I saw something interesting. Somebody posted, I forget which platform it was on today, but somebody had this comparison of like the success path and the path of the unsuccessful. And the success path had a lot of fear, insecurity, discomfort up on the front end of this curve. But then at the end, things started to get really easy. Now, the other plan, the unsuccessful plan, had a lot of comfort up front, right? A lot of comfort, no fear, no rejection. But what happened is over time, things started getting really uncomfortable because you start running out of time and you have no money, right? So that was actually a really interesting thing that I just picked up on this morning. But dude, look, if you want to get the life of your dreams, if you want life to be easy, commit a few years. This doesn't take a really long time. It doesn't take a whole life. It doesn't take till you're 65. All you got to do is get serious. I went from broke to being a millionaire in 4 years. You can do the same exact thing. All you have to do is equip yourself. You got to get a few pieces of information. You got to have a little bit of discipline. You got to get a little uncomfortable, confront a few things, maybe get rid of a few friends, but then the life is going to get easy for you. Do you want an easy life? I know I do. That's the program I'm on. I want to get easier as I get older, not harder. And prospecting will help you create the income that will give you an easy life. Okay, master prospectors are the most valuable people in a sales organization, hands down. People that don't have the fear, they don't have a problem confronting, they can pick a target and they can go take them down. Hands down, they're the most powerful person in a sales organization. Today we're talking about how you can prospect like a pro. So we've broken down a couple of the types of prospects, your types of targets, right? You have cold targets, they don't know you, you don't know them, you probably don't know anything about them or their company. You're just calling a record on a list. Number 2 is targeted cold. This is where a lot of money's made for salespeople, targeted cold. But this also is a small percentage of people that actually really excel at it, right? This is where you've done your research, you understand your prospect's business, you understand their sales model. If you're selling, in my mind, a sales model is how they sell their product, right? It's important for me and my company. You've done the research, you know people in their industry, you have success stories of customers that you've worked with in that space, who you can also share when you're putting your scripts together, which we'll talk about. And then the third type of opportunity is a warm opportunity. We got a lot of callers. We're loaded up with callers, so we'll get to the callers in just a second. I just want to start with this. So you got your warm opportunities now. Now your warm opportunities are going to be like referrals. That's a great warm opportunity. You're getting a warm introduction. It's not a complete cold call. There's some mutual connection. The second type is going to be a repeat customer. That's warm. That's a warm opportunity. So maybe a customer that used your program or your company or your service or your product 2 years ago, and they haven't since then. Maybe you call them up. They already know you. They already know your company. It's warm, right? And then the third type of opportunity that's going to be categorized under warm is something that you're going to see a lot of in sales today, which is inbound warm marketing. So a lot of people are using content to market. They put content and information out, and then that creates inbound interest for that specific piece of data. Now, I will tell you that warm opportunity with those inbound leads that everybody's talking about, you will become a slave. It's the percentage of difference between targeted cold and an inbound warm opportunity from content. The percentage difference in interest is not very large at all. Right? Like I download ebooks all over the internet all day long. right? Because I'm just interested in information, right? Zero interest in buying 99% of everything that I look at, right? And then there's so many things on the back end with what we're doing and what we're going on with. So I think that some people have a false sense of security with how well qualified an inbound warm opportunity is. So I just want you to be aware of that. And really the problem with relying too much on this opportunity, this warm inbound content request opportunity, the real problem with it is you're not in control of it, right? If you're a salesperson within a company that's relying on inbound content marketing, you are not in control of your destiny. You've given up control of your paycheck to somebody else, right? Because you can't control the marketing that drives the opportunity. You can't create that opportunity. You don't know if small companies or big companies, you have no idea what type of person you're calling, other than just they express some type of interest in a piece of information that you had, right? So I want to issue that warning about content marketing. It is important, it is viable, it is a prospect, but do not put too much faith in the fact that it's a warm opportunity, because you're still making an outbound cold call. You're still making an outbound call to somebody. They have no idea who you are as a person. They maybe don't know anything about your company. They just saw a free ebook that they thought that they were interested in. Gives you a small piece of common interest, but dude, it's still a cold call. Like I bounce back and forth between content marketing being warm or targeted cold, right? Because it's the commitment level is so low from the customer, other than the fact that they just want some information. And people are probably going to disagree with me on that. But the fourth and final type is going to be hot. This is a hot prospect. Somebody who calls in and says, hey, I want to see a presentation of your product. Somebody who shows up in your store. This is somebody who's like, I'm raising my hand. Hey, I'm interested. Show me something. An inbound demo request. Hey, please show me a demo of your product. That is like the hottest lead you can get. Inbound call. Hey, I'm best friends with Natalie. Natalie did a deal with you guys a month ago and said it was the best experience of her life and changed her business. I just talked to her 2 days ago and she said that I'd be a fool for not calling you. So please tell me what you have. Like, it don't get no hotter than that. Okay? But now you have to understand, as a salesperson, now that we've covered your prospects, you got to understand that each of those calls are a little bit different. Okay? So now that you understand like the main types of prospects that you're going to have, now we need to figure out your plan of attack, right? So who is your prospect, right? This is an important question, right? The question of these 4 prospects. If you go through and write down all your cold types of opportunities, all your targeted cold, all your warm, all your hot, you come up with your list. The hot list is going to be really small. The warm could be a little bit bigger, right? But you're going to run out of friends and referral customers and repeat customers long before you run out of targeted cold prospects, right? That's going to be a small list. And then your targeted cold. Which of those do you have the most control over? That's an important fact here that you need to be thinking with regard to prospecting. So I've gone over the prospects. I want to go over a little bit of a process that you can put in place to take them down. But first, I want to get to some of these callers we have on the line. Let's go to the phones, Natalie.
We got Chris in California.
Chris, what's going on, man?
Hey, how you doing?
Chris, welcome to the show. How are you, man?
I'm doing good. I'm actually watching you right now. I guess my computer's a little bit behind what you're saying to me. So, but yeah, man, I got a quick question for you.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm a photographer. I've been one for a few years now, and ultimately my goal is to get my own studio. The only problem that I have would be creating enough people to come in the door to keep, the business open and running. And then also, what I realized that when I do have a lot of photo shoots,
something wrong on the screen.
I get really busy and tied up with editing. I'm a one-man show, so I'm taking the pictures, I'm editing the photos, I'm delivering the packages. And if I hire a staff or assistant and editor, it raises the price point, which would then, may cause an issue for people wanting to hire me originally.
Yeah, well, the problem that I'm hearing right now has nothing to do with expenses or staff or hiring people. The problem I'm hearing is you don't have enough people buying photos from you. So like that and that's exactly what we're talking about here. Like, you got to figure out a plan of attack to go after your targets and your prospects. Now, for somebody like you, you're probably going to deal with a lot of, you're going to deal with a lot of people in the warm category, right? So referrals, repeat customers, and things like that. So I want to actually go over a script, like the actual prospecting format for you when we go back from the break. So stick around. We'll be right back. Young Hustlers.
If you are a business owner who needs custom software solutions through Amazon Web Services to automate, speed up, and enhance your business so you can focus on what you do best, which is grow your company, let Nico's Computer Engineering get you started today. With a free consultation, CEO and owner Tim Clark has spent the last 10 years building custom software for companies around the United States. Whatever your need is, whatever industry, if you need efficiency, Tim Clark can help you. Nico's Computer Engineering knows that you value speed to market. That's why we have the fastest turnaround and software implementation on the planet. If you want to get started with Nikos, go to nicoce.com. That's nicoce.com to get started right now. It takes motivation, trial and error, and a decision to be successful. Drive is required. It's time to get it right. Franchising is listed by Grant Cardone as one of the ways to become a millionaire. Let the experts at FranFinders be with you every step of the way as your partner finding, buying, selling, and promoting franchises. With over 10 years experience, FranFinders is the company to help get set up with franchising, to help you get set up with owning your own franchise and finding a franchise that's right for you. Visit franfinders.com. That's franfinders.com to get started with your search today.
Hey, we're back. Young Hustlers every Thursday, noon East Coast Standard Time. We're in the same place, same spot. Me and Uncle G, we come in here to drop some sales knowledge, some ways that you can go out, increase your income today, not tomorrow, today. Things that you can put in place, things that we use with our sales team, things that Grant's used over his career, some shortcuts, some success hacks to shorten the time it takes you to make the money that you want to make, that you deserve to make, so that you can do things that reinvest in yourself. Like go to the 10X Growth Con, for example. We got a deal right now, 10xgrowthcon.com/free. The deal is going to end at the end of the day today. We're taking it down. Right now, you can buy a $4,000 ticket. It's an executive terrace ticket. It's a great seat, $4,000 ticket. You buy it for $995. We're going to give you that $995 back to use to buy a training program of ours. It's a great way for you to get to the event and get a training program all at the same time. Plus, you get to join us at the 10X Growth Conference, where I promise you get your butt in one of those seats and your life will change. We had 2,200 people last year, 99.9% satisfaction rate. People were blown away by it, so we want to see you there. We're talking about prospects today. We're talking about how you can get your pipeline right. We talked about your cold, your targeted cold, your warm, and your hot prospects. Chris from California was talking about his studio and how he can grow his business, how he can hire people, but then that's going to create problems for him. Dude, the only problem that you have is that you aren't selling enough customers fast enough. So the first thing you have to do is, who is your ideal prospect? That's what those targeted, that list is all about. It's like, hey, where are my prospects? Where do they live? Highest conversion ratio is going to be on your hot prospects. Next is going to be warm. Next is going to be targeted cold. And then your lowest conversion rate is going to be on your absolute cold traffic. So what you would be smart to do is to work your way back, right? Obviously hot, warm, targeted, cold, cold, right? You want to work your way from the bottom up. So the question that you have to ask yourself is, how do you create more hot opportunities? How do you create more warm? And how do you go out and become a master at targeted cold? So the first thing that you have to do is you have to define some things about you and your company that are going to be interesting to people. What problems can you solve? What are they going to pay you to fix? What are they going to pay you for, right? If you identify the right target, the right company, the right household, the right person, right? somebody who is actually in market, in need, or could be in need if they came across a good salesperson. Dude, you need to get that all in place so that if you're not relying on only hot opportunities, people that are saying, hey, dude, come take pictures at my wedding, right? How are you going to create the warm opportunities, right? Meaning going back to successful clients, repeat referrals, right? Maybe creating some type of ebook like Robert's got ebooks that he does for our digital media department here, where you can go and download an ebook on, it's about branding, right?
It's going to teach you how to basically learn how to brand, learn how to get into social media. It's a very simple
Where can they get that ebook at?
GrantCardoneTV.com/brand yourself.
So if you go to GrantCardoneTV.com/brand yourself, you can download Rob's free ebook on branding tips that, like, I mean, dude, look, I think we've done a pretty good job with branding, right? Wouldn't you agree? So go get some tips from us, right? This would be an example of warm because Rob is definitely going to call you when you download that ebook, right? And then your targeted cold is going to be like, dude, like that's the people that are potential candidates based on the profile that you've built, okay? So the first thing is you got to identify the problems. What's that juicy thing? What is that thing about you that is going to captivate somebody? Because we're starting to build your pitch now, right? So when we call a company that has 25 salespeople and it's an outbound sales, inside sales team. So they're inside, they're picking up the phone and they're making outbound calls. Their whole sales team is based inside. We know that the problems they're going to have, it's going to be cold calling, it's going to be closing. They're probably hiring people that don't have a lot of experience. So they need to get skilled up fast. They need to shorten the time it takes to get somebody from coming in with very little sales experience to getting good at making cold calls and presenting the deal the whole way through. So we start building in our head like all the different ways we can start solving that person's problem. Whether it's a photo studio, whether you're a handyman, whether you're an artist, whether you're an actor, whatever, you got to start identifying where you actually fit in that whole equation. And then the second step, so number one is identify the problems that you solve. Number two, you got to start building your script around those problems. Now remember, we have different prospects here. We have hot prospects. Those are people that are probably coming to you. We have warm prospects, people that are coming to you or people that you're contacting either via repeat business, they've already purchased from you in the past, or referral, right? Or possibly some type of inbound reach for a piece of information, but not necessarily a demo or a presentation of your product, right? So like you gotta know that when you're making an outbound phone call on somebody that's requested a download, you gotta have a script for that, right? What type of person is gonna be downloading that script for branding, for example? Like what type of person is going to be downloading an ebook for branding? Somebody who probably has some questions about it. So Rob has a set of questions in a script that he's going to ask those people when he reaches out and makes that phone call. Mm-hmm. That's a different call from a targeted outbound cold call to somebody that Rob knows could be a prospect, but they haven't yet demonstrated interest. Mm-hmm. I hope this is all making sense. I'm trying to make better use of your time with your prospecting. So number one, you got to identify the problems that you solve. Number two, you've got to build your scripts based on the person you're contacting. You think a call to a referral or a repeat customer is going to be different than a call to a targeted cold list? 100%, right? So you got to understand like how your script starts fitting into these things. Number three is you have to determine your process or your cadence. That is kind of the buzzword that people are using now. Like what's that rhythm? How many phone calls? How many emails? What's the mix? Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 5, day 7, day 9, day 15. What is the process? What do you do on every day that's the same with every customer within that prospect category, right? What are you doing that's consistent, right? Now, this is where it's helpful to start breaking your day out, right? Like what I used to do when I was selling and I was starting to build my business within Grant's business is I had my day sectioned out where I would call different groups of people throughout the day, right? Like I wouldn't call my cold customers and my inbound warm and my targeted cold all at the same time. Because it's a different call, right? You got to get your head in a different place. So I'd put all my targeted cold lists in the beginning and at the end of the day. In the middle of the day, I did follow-up calls, I did repeat calls, did calls trying to get referrals from customers, right? And then, of course, when an inbound hot call comes in, I dropped everything and handled that one because that's like, dude, freaking, that's Rico! And then everybody's freaking tripping over everybody trying to get to the phone. right? It's your highest conversion rate. So you got to define what that process is, right? You can't just wing it. It won't work. You have to have a system that you follow. There has to be predictability. You've got to cover people up. Okay? To win in the game of prospecting, you have to have frequency and you have to have consistency. That's the only way you win. Unless the only people that you're calling is that very top, cold, bare, ice freezing, cold, like stone cold, lowest conversion rate possible prospect. Then none of the rules apply because you have like even less control than any other scenario. Lowest conversion rates, lowest confidence rate. You don't even know. You're basically just sitting in a job getting paid $10 an hour to punch buttons on a phone, right? So like you have to define what that process is for you. The more qualified your prospect, the more difficult it is to get to them, the more income potential you have, the more important it is to have this process all spelled out. So if you're sitting out there and you're winging it with prospecting and you're not winning and you hate prospecting because you're not winning, guarantee you it's because you don't have a process. Right? So sit down and map it all out. Hot, warm, targeted, cold. I'd just leave cold off your list. And then what is your follow-up cadence? What is your prospecting cadence for each of those contacts? What do your emails sound like? Have you even gone through and done that? Again, some companies, they take full control of this. We give our people a little bit more autonomy. Okay? And then the fourth and final step to become a professional prospector is to like freaking unleash the hinges and like pour all out into massive action. Like every mechanism possible, cold calls, emails, text messages, videos, social, handwritten letters. I mean like freaking cover people up. But which is your favorite mechanism? All of them, right? You got to penetrate because it's very noisy today. Very noisy today. And the only people that get heard are the ones that are freaking everywhere and omnipresent. So that's the process. Take them down. I want to go to some callers. Let's get to the phones, Natalie.
Yeah, Mikey famous in Las Vegas.
Mikey from Las Vegas. What's going on, bro?
Hey, John. What's going on, brother?
What's your question, man? Thanks for calling the show. What's your question?
Fantastic. Okay, my question is, I'm trying to contact stadium owners to sell my product at halftime shows, and I'm getting kind of I'm getting a lot of resistance. I like the product, but I'm trying to, how do I close, any good pointers how to close this deal, because they love the product, but they have to see it, and they saw this product, they're talking to like, boom.
Let me ask you this. If a stadium were to hook up for your deal, how big of a deal would that be?
It would be 10,000 to 50,000 pieces.
So what does that mean in money?
That means $500,000 to $1 million.
$500,000 to $1 million. What are you willing to invest to get a $500,000 deal?
I invested my life already. I mean, I'm here. I'm a computer programmer. I do it 24/7.
Well, my point that I'm trying to make is like, hey, yeah, look, they like the idea, but then they want to see it and they want to do this and they want to do that. Like, dude, you got to know that like at that point, they just lack certainty. So what you need to do is you need to find a way to increase their certainty that this is a great idea. I don't know what type of offers you're making to them, but you know, cutting them in on the deal, I don't know if that's an option. Go ahead.
You just triggered something. Yes. I see where you're going. Yeah, in the stadium, I can have one row, say like the executive VIPs. You know, there's like 1,000 of them. I could sponsor the event, give 1,000 people the glasses, and show them, watch this. And they all do the wave, you know, and they respond to their voice, and then that will trigger. Oh wow, imagine the whole stadium's in this. Okay, I got it. Cut them in on that deal.
Yeah.
I'm in the entertainment business. I mean, it's not like real estate and insurance. These guys are like really sleazy, man. They're all freaking Alibaba trying to like snake me. So yeah. I'm just trying to break into this big stadium market. I appreciate that very much.
Yeah.
Certainty,
yeah. So again, when people lack certainty, they won't make decisions. You got to find a way to increase their certainty. You definitely got to get in front of them. You got to put together some type of creative deal for them where there is some big upside for them on the first time around. And so that would be my advice for you to crack into that. Let's go to the next caller. Who we got?
All right, we got Chris in California.
Chris in California. Did we already talk to him? Okay. Chris.
Johnny Santos in New Jersey.
Johnny Santos in New Jersey. Johnny, what's going on, man? Not here. Hello. Not here.
You there, Johnny? All right, we got David in PA.
David in PA.
Yeah.
David, what's going on, brother? Thanks for calling the show.
Hey, man, how you doing?
Great. Excellent. Tremendous. Super. Hope you're doing well, too. What's your question, man?
What is this off topic? Hope it's still before.
That's not working. Pick up the phone just to see if you can hear him. Can you hear me now?
Let's try again.
All right.
David from Pennsylvania. Welcome to the show. What's your question?
Hey, Jared, I got a question that's a little bit off topic. I was hoping I could still answer it.
I love off-topic questions. If you answer one question for me.
I will.
Are you going to the 10X Growth Con in 2018? Do you have your ticket yet?
I don't have my ticket yet. I would be lying if I said I did, but the deal that you guys are presenting is making it very difficult. I'm just trying to get the money together, and I'm going to jump on board.
Free's pretty hard to say no to, right?
It is absolutely too hard to say no to, and that would help me put the money towards Cardone U.
Yep. I love that, man. What's your question?
All right, bro, here's my deal. Until you guys hire me on your team, which I've been peppering you with emails, and Todd and Steve, and, until that happens, I've had to eat SHIT and take a new job that starts in 2 weeks. My question to you is, from a mindset standpoint, I already know, being that I'm such a self-aware sales rep, that this is something I'm really not going to become passionate about. What would you do in starting this new opportunity to eliminate, those self-doubt questions about becoming passionate and ultimately succeeding in my endeavor?
This is actually a great exercise for you right now, because the most successful people in the world are able to excel at things that they don't like doing. Like, I personally think that you don't have to be in love with a product to be successful selling it. I mean,
Okay.
you don't have to be passionate about what you do every day to go and be successful doing it. There's a lot of people that are successful that don't love their jobs, like the people on Wall Street that are working, 14-hour days and making, $2 million a year. And they're like, dude, if I could do something else, I totally would. But this pays the bills. So we talk about that a lot here, use it as an exercise to prove to yourself that you can be great at something that you don't love doing. That'll probably be the best life lesson that you can give yourself, is to figure out when you're in situations that you don't have passion for, where you can still excel and be great at it. Gone? Okay, let's go to final caller.
You got Robert in DC.
Robert in DC, what's going down?
What's up, Jared Glenn?
My man. Thanks for calling the show, dude. What's your question?
All right, so check it out. I know I got a question. Yeah, I got a question. So check it out. So you said to make noise, to be noticed, and all of this. Okay, here's the deal. I'm a massage therapist. I spoke to you guys many times before. I marketed something to the owner of an establishment that I'm an associate with. They take so long to go with it when I analyze. They're paralyzed through analyzation and all this. So what I did was I rented the room for a day, and I stacked all of this special treatment that I had that they didn't offer at the place, and I filled that room up all day. Now, I call that the bitch slap, because what happens is that now the owner sees what I'm doing. Now they understand everything. The only thing they understand is that there are dollars coming through the door. Do you think that was a good move, or is that a good move? Is that the way you scale out, or do you have to make it? Because what I did was I made an example first, and then they understood it, and they said, then they had less questions. All they saw was the money.
Yeah, look, I think in the beginning when you're trying to grow and scale a business out, like there are things that we would do 7 years ago when Grant and I really first started like pushing on the online university and getting that into a bunch of businesses. There were things that we do then that we would never do now. Right? So I think that you do have to get creative in the beginning, and you have to find ways to show people. And, truthfully, if you're making $1 million a year, your time is worth a lot. And in the beginning, if you're struggling to make $100,000 a year, your time, I mean, just let's be real, it's worth less. But if you're going into if you're using your time to go in and invest half a day in an office to try to show somebody that what you do works, that could be a really good use of your time so long as the upside's there, right? And I mean, your time's not valuable as valuable as it is to somebody who's making $2 or $3 million a year, who's got a lot of places to be, a lot of things going on. When Grant's out of the office, it costs the business money, right? Because he's worth something to this business. And so when he leaves, revenue can leave with him, right? And so when I leave, it's less, right? It's less important. I'm less important to the business than he is. So my point in saying that to you, Robert, is that in the beginning, you being married to one specific way to market and sell your business is less important because there's less value in your enterprise overall. So be more creative. I love the idea. Put your money where your mouth is. Show somebody that it works. Show somebody that it's viable. And I think that could be a great way to get a customer winning on your program, and then use that story to get you another deal. Cool. Appreciate that call, Robert from DC. All right, so dude, we're talking about building your prospecting, becoming a pro prospector. We're talking about how to like literally fill a pipeline up to where you just start getting prosperity rained on you, man. You get prosperity rained on you. So like there's a short evaluation you have to do up front. Hey, who's your prospect? Is it a hot prospect, a warm prospect, a targeted cold, or a cold prospect? What are their problems? What are their issues, their concerns, the things that they'd pay me money to fix? Build my scripts out according to the target that I'm going after. Define the process that I'm going to apply to that. How many calls, how fast, at what frequency, how many emails, what do the emails say, what do they offer? And then fourth, like, dude, you got to freaking beat that war drum and go after every vehicle, channel, contact point that you have into the customer. Look, undoubtedly, if you can master prospecting, you will be the most valuable salesperson in your organization. If you can fill a pipeline with qualified prospects, we got managers in our office that close deals, right? They can close deals, I know for sure. If you can bring a lot of opportunities, I'm going to keep seeing you. I'm going to be like, man, dude, you're bringing a lot of deals to the table. And the better you get at prospecting, the better you're going to get at closing your own deals. So like, don't worry about the closing piece. Get somebody on the field, dude. Get somebody on the phone. Get somebody not to hang up on you. Win that war right there, and it just gets easier. So, dude, that's why we're here every week. We want to make your life easier. We want to make you reaching your goals happen faster, right? And if you want an easy life, you got to get around the right information, just like I did. 7 years ago, I came to work for Grant. I didn't know a whole lot about a whole lot. I just knew that I wanted an opportunity. I saw a guy that gave me the opportunity, and then he gave me the tools and resources to equip myself to go out and get on the path. He didn't hand me anything. He didn't walk me along the way. He simply provided me with the vehicle, and I took over. I did my thing. I was sold on the opportunity and what I was going to be able to do with it. So look, we come here every week and we tell you the same story. We tell you things that we've done in our business, things that people are doing in the marketplace, things that you can literally take from these shows and go apply to your own business. And then you can afford yourself different opportunities to invest in more things, like the 10X Growth Conference. We just landed a massive, massive whale speaker. Everybody's going to freaking dig what he talks about, going from nothing to over $1 billion. It's going to be a ridiculous story. Can't wait for you guys to hear it. We've got a deal going on right now that will get you to the Growth Conference for free. Okay? Let me rephrase that. It will get you to the Growth Conference for free. All you have to do is, we have $4,000 tickets, executive level tickets. Swipe your card for $9.95. We're not even going to charge you $4,000. We're going to give you 75% off the ticket. We're going to take your $9.95 and then we're going to give it right back to you and say, dude, why don't you put this $9.95 towards one of these training programs here that'll help you understand prospecting and closing and follow up and selling to the CEOs of companies and getting your money right. Invest in one of those programs so you can double down. You invest in us, we're investing right back in you, right? That is like, it's the best freaking deal we could ever offer you, right? We're not just saying we want your money. We want your money. We're going to give it back to you so that you can reinvest in yourself. That's what's important to us, is you skilling up and getting better. That's why we do these shows every week, right? So look, we'll see you next week. We always appreciate you coming by. And remember, the only people that condemn the hustle, the ones who've already given up on the hustle themselves. I'm out.